The views expressed in the following show are of the host, the guest, and the callers. The content of the following show, its accuracy, authenticity, and the ramifications of the use or application of said content is the responsibility of those speaking and listening, not the broadcast medium.
And now, live from Chicago, here is the Black Knight of Talk Radio, James Arthur Yancek.
All right, we are back and we are live. We're actually doing our first YouTube live broadcast in quite a while. For years, YouTube has not, and I have differed on some of our opinions on certain things. And they have kind of heavy-handedly deleted a whole bunch of my videos, but they've been quiet for a while. I'm going to give it a shot, and we're going to talk to Dr. Richard Allen Miller, who is a favorite of the show, a favorite of you people out there. I constantly get requests for him. It's always fun to have him back. Some of the topics aren't fun, and today I actually before the show I got a email with a whole list of references, which I'll post in a PDF file after we're done because it's very long, extensive, about earth changes, volcanoes, and whatnot, undersea volcano going and all that from Dox RAM, and the warnings that there may be some changes coming soon, which is it's a double-edged sword with him. He's the only guy you could talk to about like the end of the world and still laugh. But anyway, so let me push some magic buttons here and bring in Dr. Richard Allen Miller. And there you are. Doc, good to see you.
Nice to be seeing you. How did they put it in the little Buddha? So nice to see you again after so long a period.
It's actually, I don't know how long it is, but we've done at least one show on my current Linux setup. So, but I was looking through our catalog, and you're probably one of the most common guests I've had, the most time I've ever had all these years. It's been 22 years now. And I do have links that do appear in the bottom that go back to a playlist that I have with all our videos on it. So it goes back years. And then before that, there was just audio only when this was just on a radio station. So I got a whole list of Miller Mania that people can go through and watch over the years. So volcano blowing up or blowing down, however you want to call it, under the ocean in off Oregon, which is by you. And so what are your what about it, and what are the things you're looking at?
Context. Let me begin by stating when I was lead physicist at the Pentagon under Richard Nixon, I was working Project MJ-12, Majestic. I'm the last scientist alive that actually worked at Groom Lake and as a scientist. And I personally think that I think that krill, this entity that was left over from Roswell, I think is my future programming me. Now, aliens are not what you think they are. And this is me saying it as working Navy intelligence, lead physicist at the Pentagon for Navy, with Army and CIA coming in maybe 20 years later trying to weaponize anything that we make discoveries on. And at the time in 1974, I made a discovery and wrote an extremely important document on the fact that every 12,000 years, there's a magnetic pole shift in the solar system. And all the planets now have shifted their pole to include the sun, which did it last year, except for Earth and Mercury. And Earth almost did it 2 years ago when the core of Earth slowed down to a stop and then began spinning back up again. Now, what does that all mean physically? I don't know. I'm a physicist. I'm considered one of the best in history even. And yet, physics won't get you there. Why? Because it always begins with an assumed truth. Is the earth round or flat? And that's the one I use to make everybody get the bigger picture of the fact is the correct answer is yes. That's how limited our concept of space is. Imagine what time is about. Okay, now what happened is the study I did, I went back 5 different 12,000 years, 12,000, 12,000, 12,000. And it's so precise as to time-wise to be had a 3 sigma error coefficient. That means there's a 99.9975% probability of the event occurring. And the best, there's no written record of it. I had to work with geology. Greek mythology, which is some of our oldest, is at 11,200 years. And apparently, Earth was not where life first started. It started on Mars approximately 2 billion years ago. And because I have, in 1983, I created what's called a wormhole. It's an unusual new concept. You'll find that in my diamond body, but it's when we discovered cymatics. And basically, I took 12 NASA scientists to Mars, and they have just recently discovered the same geometry I used to go to Mars in 1983. They found on Saturn, which means our solar system is a life form. And if you don't think NASA doesn't want to know where that wormhole goes, because we're right now at the end of days. And the paper that I sent you are the various given points that are starting to happen that begin this process of a magnetic pole shift, which the last time it happened, Alaska was connected to Siberia. And this volcano off of Crescent City is what and I could be absolutely wrong because I do make mistakes. I try not to make the same one twice with women so that I train wrecks RS. But basically, this volcano off of Crescent City is in a extremely critical fault line point that will drop the entire Pacific plate. And when I say that, everything from Alaska all the way down to Peru is within 4 hours of that eruption. We're now guessing that we'll probably have everything from west of I-5 is gone. It's just going to slide right into the ocean. Now, is that going to happen? Well, we really don't know, except I worked from geology. I'm a physicist, but I'm unusually educated. I have a number of doctorates. I was an overachiever, and I'm basically a young kid in an old man's body. I have eidetic imaging. That means I have eidetic memory, and I see things people don't see. That's what I was doing that little program with you with Jack Spratt. Matt Stein and I were doing urban survival skills because we are going to have an event. How badly it does, well, we go right back to caveman. And here's the bad news. Homo neanderthalis was a more evolved species than Homo sapien. It had 3 rings in the DNA, which means it functioned on 5 dimensions, not 4 like man does. Now, where is that? That's why I would suggest, as a metaphor, that we're in a petri dish and we get up to a certain level of development, quote, we've been here before, end quote, and then something happens and man is pushed right back down to the beginnings of, Stone Age. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm a prepper. And I drink lots of Pepper. Oh, Dr. Pepper. I'm a doctor. Yeah, sorry about that.
While you're talking, just to let you know, you can't see this, but while you're talking, I've been scrolling around with some pictures and information about the volcano off sea so people can see. Also, I bumped into a 2012 article in Forbes about the Earth changes And
Right. The wiggle room on 12,000 years, even with 3 sigma, is, it could be up to 2054.
right, right.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way, right is not right. It is an idiomatic expression. It's actually not left either. It's Malcoma in the middle. That's where man is. I feel like we're losing ground. We're not gaining ground. We're not becoming more evolved. We're de-evolving. And example A I'd show you would be our children, which I think are probably the single most important natural resource over timber and oil. And it isn't me that's going to save the earth. It'll be our children, maybe. And why would we want to send them to school to become us? I mean,
Well,
not a question.
recalling our conversation, the tie-in with this volcano and the earth changes is that the volcano is a result of pole shifting, and when it blows up, it's not going to actually cause the earth changes in as much as it's part of the earth changes, right?
That's correct.